Summer's calling, and ShackShop.us has you covered. Dive into hot sales on ladies' swimsuits, sleek, stylish, and perfect for pool or beach. Stay connected and on trend with smartwatches that track your every move. Explore the depths with underwater drones and reach new heights with our flying drones. Adventure starts here. Hurry, these deals won't last. Shop now at ShackShop.us and make this season unforgettable. ShackShop.us, where adventure meets style.
Bruce Springsteen's Land of Hope and Dreams tour sparks backlash over ticket prices, political messaging, and the cost of rock's new activism. For decades, rock legend Bruce Springsteen cultivated a reputation as the voice of working-class America. His music told stories about factory workers, struggling families, small-town dreamers, and ordinary citizens fighting to build a better life. Songs like Born to Run, The River, and Born in the USA became cultural landmarks, celebrated by fans across the political spectrum. But in 2026, that reputation is facing a serious test. As Springsteen prepares to launch his Land of Hope and Dreams American tour, criticism is growing, not only over his increasingly political rhetoric, but also over staggeringly high ticket prices that many longtime fans say make it impossible for the very working-class audience he once championed to attend. The tour, scheduled to begin March 31st in Minneapolis, was announced with a fiery message defending democracy and condemning former President Donald Trump. Yet within days of tickets going on sale, social media erupted with complaints that seats in some sections were reaching four-figure prices, with premium spots allegedly climbing into the thousands of dollars. For many supporters who grew up seeing Springsteen as the soundtrack to middle-class America, the situation feels deeply ironic. Fans are asking a simple question: how can a tour framed as a defense of democracy be priced beyond the reach of average Americans? A tour framed as a political mission. When Springsteen announced the tour, he didn't present it simply as another concert run. Instead, the legendary rocker framed the upcoming shows as something closer to a political and cultural movement. In a widely shared video posted to social media, Springsteen spoke directly to fans about what he described as troubling times for the country. "We are living through dark, disturbing, and dangerous times," he said. He then announced that he and the E Street Band would take the stage across the United States in what he described as a celebration and defense of American values. According to Springsteen, the concerts would serve as a platform to highlight and defend American democracy, constitutional freedoms, the American dream, the traditions that have shaped the nation. The singer also included pointed criticism of the current political climate, suggesting those ideals are under threat. Without naming every opponent directly, Springsteen accused political leaders in Washington of undermining the country's institutions. His remarks were widely interpreted as a direct attack on Trump, who he has criticized repeatedly over the years. Springsteen invited fans from every political background to attend the concerts, describing the tour as an opportunity for Americans to unite. "Everyone is welcome," he said. The message sounded uplifting and inclusive, but as ticket sales began, the price tag attached to that invitation quickly became the main story. Ticket prices trigger immediate backlash. Within hours of tickets going on sale, fans flooded social media with screenshots of ticket listings showing shockingly high prices. Some fans reported seeing upper-level seats near $1,000, lower-level seats climbing into the several thousand-dollar range, floor seats approaching $7,000 on resale markets. While pricing varied by venue and demand, the optics were undeniable. For many fans, the number seemed wildly inconsistent with Springsteen's image as a champion of average Americans. One longtime supporter wrote on social media that the situation felt contradictory. "If this tour is supposed to stand up for democracy, dynamic pricing makes no sense," the fan commented. "It feels like the pure free market where money decides everything." Another commenter expressed disappointment that the concerts were simply unaffordable. "Unfortunately, no one can afford to go," the fan wrote bluntly. Others focused on the broader economic situation in the country. "It's sad for people who followed you for years but can't pay these prices," another post read. "With the economy the way it is, these tickets are out of reach." Many fans pointed out that Springsteen's music historically focused on working-class struggles. For them, the disconnect between message and pricing felt especially stark. The dynamic pricing debate. At the center of the controversy is a system known as dynamic pricing. Used widely across the live entertainment industry, dynamic pricing adjusts ticket costs based on demand. When demand spikes, prices rise automatically, sometimes dramatically. Supporters of the model argue that it prevents tickets captors from capturing the majority of profits. Instead of resellers charging huge markups, the artist and promoters receive more of the revenue directly. Critics, however, argue that the system simply pushes prices beyond the reach of ordinary fans. Under dynamic pricing, ticket costs can skyrocket within minutes of release. Fans attempting to buy tickets during the initial sale often find themselves competing with automated demand algorithms.
The result can be seats that start at a reasonable price, but quickly escalate to four-figure figures. Springsteen is far from the first artist to face criticism over the practice, but because of his reputation as a working-class storyteller, the backlash may be louder in his case. For fans who once saw him as the musical voice at factory towns and union halls, the optics of $7,000 concert seats are difficult to reconcile. Longtime fans voice their frustration. Some of the most pointed criticism has come from people who say they have attended Springsteen concerts for decades. One fan posted that they had attended 26 of his shows over the years but were shocked by current prices. Upper seats are around $1,000, he wrote. I've always had floor seats before, but now they're going for thousands. Another fan joked that attending the concert would require taking out a mortgage. Others expressed disappointment rather than anger. They acknowledge Springsteen's legacy but argue that something about the system feels broken. Many emphasize that they still love his music but simply can't justify the cost. For working families already dealing with rising prices for housing, food, and travel, a luxury concert experience is difficult to justify. Even loyal supporters who want to attend are being forced to reconsider. The economic context. The criticism surrounding ticket prices is happening in a time when many Americans feel financial pressure. Inflation over the past several years has affected everyday expenses, from groceries to rent. Entertainment spending has become especially controversial because prices across the industry have risen dramatically. Large arena tours often involve expensive stage production, massive lighting rigs, extensive logistics, large touring crews. Promoters argue these costs require higher ticket prices to remain profitable. Still, critics say the industry has moved far beyond reasonable pricing. For many families, a single concert night can now cost hundreds or thousands for tickets, additional money for parking and travel, high prices for food and merchandise. When all expenses are added together, a night at a major concert can exceed the cost of a vacation. That reality is fueling frustration among fans who remember when concerts were accessible entertainment rather than luxury events.
Politics has never been entirely absent from Springsteen's music. Throughout his career, the singer has addressed themes such as economic inequality, military service, immigration, social justice, working-class hardship. However, his political messaging has grown more explicit in recent years. Springsteen has openly criticized Trump on multiple occasions. During a performance in Manchester, England, in 2025, he reportedly described the Trump administration as corrupt, incompetent, and treasonous. The remarks quickly circulated online and reignited political debate among fans. Supporters applauded Springsteen for speaking his mind. Critics argued that entertainers should avoid turning concerts into political rallies. The divide reflects broader tensions in American culture, where celebrities increasingly use their platforms to advocate political positions. Trump responds with sharp words. The feud between Springsteen and Trump has become increasingly personal. After Springsteen's comments criticizing him, Trump fired back with harsh language on social media. He dismissed the rock icon as overrated and accused him of pushing radical political views. Trump also criticized Springsteen's support for former President Joe Biden. The exchange added another chapter to the long-running conflict between conservative political figures and left-leaning entertainment personalities. While political disagreements between celebrities and politicians are nothing new, they tend to attract significant attention due to the massive audiences involved. Springsteen's comments, and Trump's response, ensured that the tour would launch amid a heated political atmosphere. A protest song adds fuel to the debate. Shortly before announcing the tour, Springsteen released a new track titled Streets of Minneapolis. The song is widely interpreted as a protest against federal immigration enforcement actions in Minnesota. According to reports, the lyrics criticize the deployment of federal agents to combat illegal immigration. Supporters say the song continues Springsteen's tradition of highlighting social issues. Critics argue that it represents another example of political messaging from wealthy celebrities who may be disconnected from everyday concerns. Regardless of interpretation, the release ensured that the upcoming tour would carry clear political undertones. Combined with the tour announcement video and past remarks, the song positioned the concert series as a cultural statement as much as a musical event. The cultural divide around celebrity activism. The controversy surrounding Springsteen reflects a broader debate in American culture. Increasingly, celebrities are using their platforms to speak on political issues. Supporters see this as a positive development, arguing that influential voices should participate in civic conversations. Critics counter that wealthy entertainers often appear out of touch with the everyday struggles of ordinary citizens. When celebrities who criticize economic inequality simultaneously charge premium prices for tickets or products, critics say the message rings hollow. Springsteen's situation is a textbook example of this tension. To many fans, he remains a beloved songwriter whose music captured the struggles of blue-collar America. To others, the combination of political lectures and high-priced concerts feels like a contradiction. The evolution of the concert industry. To understand the controversy fully, it helps to examine how the live music business has changed. In the 1970s and 1980s, when Springsteen first rose to fame, concert tickets were relatively affordable. Artists made most of their income through album sales. Concert tours were primarily promotional tools designed to support record releases. Today, the situation is reversed. Streaming has drastically reduced revenue from recorded music.
As a result, touring has become the primary income source for many artists. Major tours now resemble traveling productions with massive budgets. Ticket prices reflect those costs, along with the enormous demand generated by global fan bases. Still, critics argue that the industry has crossed a line where concerts are no longer accessible to the audiences who built these artists' careers. The loyalty of the E Street Nation. Despite the criticism, Springsteen retains one of the most devoted fan bases in music history. Fans often refer to themselves as E Street Nation, a reference to the E Street Band that has backed Springsteen for decades. Many followers travel long distances to attend multiple shows during a single tour. For these die-hard supporters, Springsteen concerts are more than entertainment. They are communal events filled with nostalgia, emotion, and shared memories. Even some critics of the ticket pricing admit that the concerts themselves remain unforgettable experiences. Springsteen is widely regarded as one of the most energetic performers in rock history, often playing marathon sets lasting 3 hours or more. That reputation continues to draw massive crowds, despite controversy. Can the backlash affect the tour? At this stage, it remains unclear whether the criticism will significantly impact ticket sales. Springsteen tours historically sell out quickly, even when prices are high. Demand for his shows remains strong across multiple generations of fans. However, the public debate could influence the broader conversation around concert pricing. Lawmakers and consumer advocates have already begun discussing potential regulations related to ticket sales and reselling platforms. The controversy surrounding Springsteen may add fuel to those discussions. For now, the tour is set to move forward as planned. The first show will take place in Minneapolis, before traveling to cities across the United States, including stops in California, Texas, and Washington, D.C. A complicated legacy. Bruce Springsteen's legacy is deeply intertwined with the story of the working-class America. Few artists have written this powerfully about the hopes and struggles of ordinary citizens. At the same time, the realities of the modern music business have pushed even legendary performers into a market defined by premium experiences and high prices. The clash between those two realities is at the heart of the current conflict. Supporters argue that Springsteen is simply operating within an industry that has changed drastically. Critics believe the ticket prices undermine the very message he claims to champion. As the land of hope and dreams too approaches, that debate shows no signs of fading. For many fans, the question remains unresolved. Can a rock icon still represent the working class if the working class can no longer afford the show?